I just wanted to make a quick video, just to take a deep dive into my training manual, What Your Dog is Begging For. Applies to cats also, this information, this training, and I suggest that this is the best training that any pet parent can undertake and invest in. Alright, you can get it on my website. You can get the PDF for $27.99, or you can get this printed copy here for $49.99 plus postage. It's a fully coloured version, the printed version. And as I say, if you want to get it a bit cheaper, you can get the PDF version for $27.99. I basically rate it after this lovely girl came into my life. She came into my life with problems. A lot of problems. She was an ex-racing dog, and I needed to find some solutions. So I did the study. I did extensive study and started putting my clients onto raw meaty bones, and then this book just literally fell out of me, really. In fact, I went to write a 5-page PDF that I could just give to people and hand out, and 4 weeks later there was actually 100 pages of information. So I thought I would turn it into a training manual. You can see all of the table of contents there. This is all about me, who I am, why I wrote this training manual. Alright, it's all in there. This was my first dog, Jake, and Annie. I dedicate this book to them because without their teachings and lessons, this book wouldn't even be here. I talk about my own journey of how I had stage 4 cancer and healed it through diet and nutrition and a few other things, but I did it naturally, and that's what's led me into studying human diet and nutrition and pet diet and nutrition, because nutrition is food. Food is thy medicine, and diet and toxicity in our environment and the things we put in our body is causing all of our health problems. So I wanted to write a training manual to take both human and animal through a journey that is going to help both of them, because once we start fixing the animal, it's a knock-on effect that the human starts looking at their own food and their own diet and starts cleaning it up. So yes, chapter 1 talks about unveiling the truth of the pet industry. I go into extensive about how toxic the pet industry, and I don't hold anything back, guys. I'm very truthful about what's going on. I'm very, we've got to start looking what's actually in this processed pet food. I've put videos here so you can watch. You can click on them and watch, or you can just take the link if you've got the printed copy and find it on YouTube. So yes, how is pet food made, and where's it come from? Why is it so toxic? Because the toxicity isn't just harming our animals; it's harming us. It's harming the planet, the soil, the air, the water. Again, I put a video in here of video evidence of them collecting euthanised cats and dogs from the veterinary surgeries in black plastic bags. They get taken to a pet rendering, they get poured out of the plastic bags, and there's piles and piles and piles of euthanised dead cats and dogs, all with diseases, all being ground up into a sludge in a big grinder. You see them go into the grinder and come out as a sludge the other end. It does come with a warning because it does contain graphic content, but I think once you watch that, you're like, right, I'm ready to put the pet food in the bin. We go on to have a look at, though, what the effects of these pet food ingredients do to animals. What the various effects of sugar is on a dog. What does it do inside of its body? What do colours do? What do wheats do? What do grains do? What does this toxic stuff and this way of feeding our animals actually do to the animal? As I say, not just the animal, but what does it do to the soil and the environment and our wallet? And all we're doing by feeding our animals this way is lining the big pet food manufacturers, the veterinary associations, the pet food, the pharmaceutical drug industry and the pet insurance. All of them are making billions of pounds out of us of us feeding our dogs this way. And at the end of the day, it's the animal and the humans that's suffering. The people who run these industries have got a nice lavish lifestyle and don't actually give a damn about what's going on. This is the effects of processed pet food diet. This is what a typical dog's mouth can look like: gum disease, tooth decay. Now, if the dog's mouth is like that in here inside, it's going to be absolutely revolting. This is a dog that's been fed on raw meaty bones since it was a puppy. You can clearly, it's never had any processed pet food, sugar or toxins. You can clearly see the difference. This is what our dog's teeth and cat's teeth should look like. If you open your dog's and your cat's mouth and they don't look like that, then I would definitely get hold of this manual. As I say, what's going on in their mouth is also going on in their body. This is one of my clients' dog. This just goes to show this is how a dog will come to me. It will go through my program, my protocol, my cleanse, my detox, my supplements, the training. And this is the kind of transformation we can make in a very quick time. And I've got lots of testimonials and pictures to show before and after in the book. This was a little foster dog I took on called Elsa. She'd had 8 homes. She was highly aggressive. Nobody could handle her. Changed her diet and everything. I mean, you can just see the difference in the condition. Look, she's lumpy and she's got no muscle formation. Her skin, her coat's dull. She looks depressed. Here, she's got all of her muscles filled out. Her coat's looking gleaming. You know, and she's happy and relaxed. Totally different dog within the space of 8 weeks. This was my own transformation with Annie. This is when she came to me, lost look in the eyes, totally hyped up on processed pet food, scars in the face. She was extremely aggressive. She had terrible organ damage inside of her body, 4 years of being treated like absolute crap. And she was a racing greyhound, and they received terrible diets, and they got a very stressful lifestyle. And I mean, even her trainer, when I went to pick up Annie, all of the trainer and the staff, they're all smoking in the kennels. Annie was subjected to a horrendous amount of passive smoking in her life. Later on, she did develop cancer. But this was the transformation I made within 8 weeks. You can see the muscles have formed, all the scarring's gone, her coat's gleaming. She's like the lost look's gone from her eyes. She's got her sparkle back. This was just through some diet changing and the supplements that I put her on, which I will talk about. She was absolutely glowing head to toe. But yes, this toxic combination of food will lead to drugs. And just more and more toxicity into the animal. I mean, let's face it, human beings are the only species on the planet which I know is used to build a fire and cook food. Every other species on the planet, including birds, insects and mammals, all kill and eat each other raw. So when we interfere with the way Mother Nature wants to do things, we will pay the consequences. So what about bones? I do a big chapter because the one thing people are scared of is these bones. Cooked bones are a definite no-no, but I go into why raw bones are the way forwards, right? We talk about what actually happens inside of the dog's body, all right? We talk about the teeth. We talk about how dogs and cats are carnivores, not omnivores. We can see that their teeth are that of a carnivore animal. They've got scissors teeth to cut the skin. They've got piercing fangs to pierce the jugular, bring the animal down, and then these back teeth are bone-crunching teeth. Now, if you don't use them properly, you'll lose them. If you don't use the teeth properly, you'll lose them. If you don't use the teeth properly, you'll lose them. And this is why, if you take a look inside your dog and cat's mouth, go and have a look. Have they got gum disease, tooth decay, what's going on? If you're on a processed pet food diet, your dogs and cats are going to eventually lose their teeth, as well as have terrible digestive system. This talks about, you know, how we've humanised the dog, and we do stupid things like this to the dog, and we try to make them human, and it absolutely, you know, dogs are the closest thing to the wolf. We got to treat dogs, not like humans. I go into the psychology of why prevention is better than the cure. Chapter 5, you know, why we should be feeding raw meaty bones like this, you know, because we're going to prevent, you know, Annie had no vet bills at all in the 10 years that I had her. I saved myself thousands of pounds. And that's what I say, this training manual, whether you spend the £27.99 or the £50, is an absolute investment into the future of your pet. It's going to help save you. This is all about chapter 5, how to make the switch for your dogs and cats. Now, if you don't feel fully confident about following the manual, you can book a one-to-one consultation with me, and I will take you through the whole process and give you support, you and your animals support. And I do suggest that for people who have got problems, severe chronic health problems with their animals. The reasons why we need to do a detox. This is the stage everybody misses. Just tries to put their dog on a raw diet. So crucial. You do a fast and a cleanse before you switch diets. You would do this if you were switching your own diet. And again, if you're going to be lazy and not study how to do it, the likelihood is that you're going to have more complications down the line. So just take the time to do the study, invest in these couple of products here. And I tell you, these products are going to keep the vets away. All right, the investment into these is highly, highly recommended. All right, these are my 2 supplements. We've got Natural Pet Vitality and the Diamond Drops. I go into full extensive of what these do and how they work in the body. I use a pure silica water to add to the mix. And again, I talk about this one actually pulls, silica's known to pull things like aluminium, heavy metals out of the brain and the blood. So again, it's really a lovely product just to put with these 2. You can use any old spring water, but I really, really do love the Achilles. It's amazing. So yes, I go all into about this supplement. All right, there's actually a free web book here on my website. It's called For Domesticated and Farm Animals. I highly suggest that you get that and download and read that as well. But if you don't want to do that, I've given you the bare minimum out of the book in here. You can go onto YouTube again and watch this beautiful man. He's the man who made our formulas, Dr. Jackson. Go and watch his videos. You will learn a lot from him. All about how fulvic acid balances our cellular electricity. Again, I talk about why when we put fulvic onto plants, the insects won't come in and eat the plants. I talk about why that is in the book. And then we go through all the trial studies on all the other different animals that we can use this supplement on, which is really, really important to have a look at as well. Okay, so chapter 7 then is about introducing raw meaty bones for the first time. I go through all of that in real detail, what size bones, how to do it, what to do, what to do. You know, even when they're a tiny little puppy, we want to get them chewing on. I mean, as you can see, this is probably as big as him. But we gave him something to get his little teeth going and chewing on. And I talk about puppies and pregnant mums. Again, this is a little bit actually about if you want to access this training on my Udemy platform. I do two courses, video training, so you can see my workshops. I film my workshops and you can see me talking about those. So there's 2 courses on there. So go and have a look at the Udemy training if you want to watch it. This is about how much, how often, how do we feed our raw meaty bones. You know, how do we do this if we've got a graze-fed dog? If you've had a dog or a cat that their food's left down all day, it'll be a different switch to one if they've just been fed, you know, like once a day or twice a day. We've got to look at how we feed them and actually change the way we feed them. Like, you know, let's get the raw meaty bones out on the grass like they would in the wild, not feed in the kitchen in a bowl. It's not natural for dogs and cats to eat out of a bowl. They need to be chewing. I mean, this one here looks like it's on a kitchen table. But again, we've got to go through the health and safety of having raw meaty bones in your house and in your garden. Chapter 9 is all about what changes are going to occur when you put the diet over. You know, we talk about mushy, slushy poos. What's going on there? You know, what to look out for. Because most people get this coming out of their animal and then they panic and they go back to the pet food. This is the old pet food coming out of the system, and that's exactly what we want. So we don't panic and we carry on and we do the cleanse and detox with the supplements. And this is what we're looking for. This is healthy dog poo. This is dog poo, what it should look like in the wild. It's white, it's crumbly, it crumbles to nothing. We had white dog poo many, many years ago. That's the stage we want to get it. So if your dog's poos aren't going like this, then you've not got it right. We talk about this bath mince in a bowl again. There's places for this in some animals' diets, but again, why is this way of feeding your dogs not the best way? I go into talking about why we shouldn't do the processing and the mincing of the bones for the animals, because again, if they don't use their teeth, they're going to lose them. We must stop interfering with the process. This is still processed pet food, even though it's raw. The only difference is it hasn't been cooked and it hasn't had a load of dead cats and dogs in it, so it is a better quality. But again, we've done the mincing for the animals, and that's not the right thing. And I go through extensively what happens in the body when we do the processing for the animals, and they don't do it themselves. It's not just about their teeth, it's about every single part of their body. We talk about dogs who are malnourished. And again, this is one of my clients who we've, you know, this was a dog I used to work with when I used to work in the kennels, very malnourished. We talk about overweight dogs, and you know, what do we do when we've got a fat dog that's got way too much fat in its system? How do we do a detox and a cleanse and get them back? What about dogs with behavioural problems? You know, depressed dogs, you know, that are sad and lonely, and what do we do with them? Offering a balanced diet. What other raw meaty bones? What raw meaty bones can they have? You know, all the other types that you can feed. All right. What about fruits and vegetables? I talk about that. And why really they can have a tiny amount in their diet, but it should really go through the digestive system of another animal, which they would then eat. Foods to avoid, right? You know, what foods should we not give our dogs? You know, raw salmon's on there. Again, why is raw salmon on there? Have a read of the manual. It's highly toxic to dogs. Most people buy these raw foods and they've got salmon oil in, or salmon, or they go and give their dog salmon because they think, oh, that's an expensive fish, that's a good fish. No, it's highly, highly toxic to dogs and cats. Read the manual to find out why. So freezing, what about freezing the bones? You know, again, as I talk about, what about pregnant? What about puppies? All right, we talk about everything in this manual. It'll cover absolutely everything for you. Let's just have a look what else we've got. How to save money. I go through how to save money on this diet, and you can cut your food bills and your vet bills in half if you follow this. That's why I say this manual is a great investment. Again, talking about toxic toys. I mean, when did we ever think to take away the real bone and give them this green plastic rubbish was a good idea? I mean, for the dog, for the planet, for your pocket, for the vets. I mean, the only person who benefits from that is the person who made the toy, and the vet, and the pharmaceutical drugs and the pet insurance when you claim on them. Your dog and you are not going to benefit from this whatsoever. All right, again, tennis balls. So many people don't realise how toxic tennis balls are. Please read about how toxic tennis balls are. And never, ever, ever give your dog a tennis ball. It's absolutely killing them. And my manual will tell you why. We then go into chapter 12, client testimonials. Again, this, this is a dog that came to us. I mean, look, it was absolutely horrendous. This was probably the worst case of pet food poisoning and veterinary drug poisoning that I've ever seen. I mean, the dog just had been like this for a period of 4 years. And what we did, we gave her first raw meaty bones, we cleansed her, detoxed her with the supplements, kept her on the supplements, and look what started happening. Her hair started growing back for the first time after 4 years. Absolutely, completely grew back. She was like this for 4 years. This took about 4 or 5 weeks to get her back into this state following my protocol. These were her ears. They were the worst case of blistering I've ever seen inside of her ears. Again, within 4 to 5 weeks, we had them completely cleared up. This was how she came to me. This is how she ended up. I mean, she was in an absolute depressed state there. This is the picture I took of her about a week before she crossed Rainbow Bridge. And she said to me, make sure you tell everybody my story. It's really a heartbreaking story, but she got well before she died. This is one about a client who came to me, Keisha. This cat had been diagnosed with lung cancer. Simone went through my training, did everything, followed the protocol, and Keisha went on to live another 1.5 years and got better in that time and led a much better life, didn't die like that. So there's a lot we can do. Even when there's chronic disease, we can do so much more to help heal the animal. It's never too late. This was Mr. Knight. He was the soy dog that got trapped on a metal spike for 5 days and 5 nights before he was rescued, and he was an absolute mess. Guy rescued him, brought him back to England. I met him, we put him through my programme, got him on raw meaty bones, got him on his bioresonance, did the detox with natural pet vitality. And this was him attending his first dog show. I mean, Mr. Knight was completely phobic, couldn't be around anything. He was terrified of the world and everything. He couldn't have been in a situation like this had we not worked on him. So very, very happy day. We've been through a lot of training and a lot of lessons. And anybody who'd like to read Mr. Knight's book, because he's written a book, and all donations go to, all proceeds of the book go directly to the Soy Dog Foundation who rescued him. Right, so that's another book I would suggest you read. And then we've got Corey. Corey was an epileptic dog who, again, we changed the diet and stopped his seizures. All right, again, talking about how seizures are linked to food and diet. So you can go on corys.com and get his book. And then we've got more stories here. Ninja came to me when he was just a puppy. He looked like this, tired, bags under the eyes, just not very well. Within a few weeks, absolutely glowing. Now I asked, because Ninja is still alive, 11 years on, and this is him with his sister now. As you can see, he's a little getting a grey old man. But we got an update. Now, he's not been to see the vet once in his 11 years following this protocol. So again, it goes to show just how much money and heartache we saved him and his owner. And there's Barney from Lynn Thompson. She went through my programme, she went through my whole training course, got Barney better. And she was so thrilled with what she saw. She went and opened a raw pet food shop, and she's now helping thousands more dogs get their raw meaty bones diet. So it just goes to show that, you know, when you're educated properly, you can go on and educate others properly. And then that leads me to the author's summary. And then this is a collection of my other reading resources that you can find on my website. Right, there's much more I go into than diet and nutrition. I go into dog psychology. I go into human psychology, the link between dog and human psychology. I go into animal communication. I go into energy healing for animals. We go into looking how we can use fulvic minerals to not just help our animals, but to help our soils, our waterway and our air. And then this one here is my overall. It's got 9 units, and this is if you want to become my student and work with me for 6 months, actually training to do what I do. I will train you to how to do what I do and set up a business with what I'm doing. And that's the whole training manual. You can buy the training manual if you're just a pet parent and just want to study all of my lessons. You can buy it without the exam and the certification. But if you want to become a certified Canine Angel student, then you would need to contact me and come on my course. So it's actually quite a longer video than I planned, but that's what your dog is begging for. I wanted to just make a quick video and show people through it. And we'll just leave there with my darling Annie, because without her, this book wouldn't even be here. And this training manual, as I say, has saved a lot of lives and saved a lot of money, and is actually bringing back the balance to Mother Earth. So please do, I'll leave the link down below. Please do go and check it out, order it, get studying. And you know, I offer a 60-day money back guarantee. If you buy the book and you follow it and it doesn't make any changes in your life, or for whatever reason you're not very happy, I will give you your money back. Just write to me, say, Nikki, the book didn't work for me. Can I have my money back? No questions asked, and I will honour my 60-day guarantee. In the whole 11 years that what your dog has been begging for, I've never had to do that, because I know it's an extensive training manual. It's written by me and the dogs that I've worked with over the last 15 years. So I'll leave it there, guys. I hope you go and buy it and study it and read it. Thank you.